Does this thing have a nose lift? I asked the guy in the green polo shirt standing in the parking lot of a Maybourne Riviera, a white-tiered hotel perched cliffside above Monte Carlo. And when the logo on his chest indicated he'd know whether the 2024 Aston Martin DB12 I was driving had the ability to boost itself an extra inch higher as a 12er booper. I pulled into a traffic circle immediately at the exit. No, it doesn't, he said, waving me past. Have fun. Well then, I pointed to the $245,000 coupe toward Antibes and pressed the accelerator. I needed to get to Milan de Mugens. Word on the street was that the former 16th century mill 3 miles inland had a great bonbon bar. One could be forgiven for thinking the Aston Martin DB11 successor and required the same additional clearance from a push-button lift as a Lamborghini. The DB12 looks and sounds downright of conspicuous, with a wide stance, a gaping front grille, and 671 horsepower roaring underneath an inboat hood. I soon discovered, as I wound toward the hills above France's southern coastline, that the DB12 isn't actually as aggressive to drive as a Lamborghini Huracan. It's not as precise from behind the steering wheel as the Porsche 911 GT3, nor is it as decadent inside as the Bentley Continental GT, even though it costs more than all of those. But if you're a fan of James Bond's signature mark, don't be dismayed. Aston Martin's overpriced Grand Tour is still a significant improvement over its predecessor. Inside, in an 88 5000,
Aston Martin is needed a hit. Since its 2018 initial public offering, the company has had cash flow problems and enough C-suite turnovers to call to mind an overused Rolodex. Many critics and customers hated the chintzy interiors of the DB11. Deliveries of the Valkyrie hypercar have been delayed, but we've seen glimmers of excellence. The 2023 Aston Martin DBX707 SUV is a worthy competitor to Lamborghini Urus. China's Geely Automobile Holdings Limited doubled its stake in the automaker on May 18 in a transaction and unlocked $118 million for the brand. Fernando Alonso has made the podium 6 times this season in the Aston Martin Formula One car. Stock shares jumped on June 26 after Aston Martin announced it would partner with Lucid Group Inc. with electric technology.
And now this, the DB12 looks smashing. When I first saw it, parked 1,000 feet above the sea on the edge of cliff, it stopped me in my tracks. My brain tried to process its silken body. Here was something similar to a DB11, but stronger. Driving one painted like an emerald, scarab on my way to Savor Harbor bonbons, I noticed novelties every time my pit stopped. Bronze alloy, 21-inch wheels split into prickly spokes, a front grille stretched into a Cheshire Cat grin, LED headlights in daytime, running legs cut like crystal decanters, line at each side of the sign, frameless side mirrors and handles cut flush into the body of the car to offset its knee width. Because the system is a bit fast, I know, for DC access. I redesigned this Martin Badger Seminoles with a cherry on top. Walking towards a post-espresso break, I observed a disappointing feature from the back. A black band disturbed the otherwise smooth line from roof to rear. The DB12 has air sandless opaques where the back pillars connect the roof to the trunk. So the black band encircling the car is essential for structural reasons, says designer Miles Namberger. I soon forgot the disappointment, however, as a Dodge cyclist on my way to Le Domaine du Mas de Pierre. I heard the hotel had frosty lemon drinks and a garden befitting a chateau, fields of wildflowers smudged together like wet paint. As I whizzed past dilapidated farmhouses, set down gravel paths shrouded by overgrown carobs, they looked like they belonged on the Instagram account Cheap Houses. My route combined 130 miles of highway with twisting mountain byways that had me holding my breath when other cars passed.
These quaint Gallic roads are stressful for us Americans, but the car remained balanced as I toggle drive modes. I drove in Sport Plus most of the time. That GT and Sport showed the limits of the car as I pushed around corners. Chance rain shower displayed the wet nodes, enhanced stability on low grip surfaces.
8 paddle shifting gears, the twin turbo V8 engine, and 590 pound-feet of torque will get the fastest drivers to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds and to 22 miles per hour. Aston Martin says, I got close enough to those speeds on those back road straightaways. In one pasture, 3 brown goats with corkscrew horns nodded in approval as I passed. The DB12 has a new suspension system and a new electronic rear differential linked to stability control, which create uber consistent handling. Swooping through those Riviera curves, the DB12 felt by like the engineers had infused some kind of workshop magic in the steering column. While the model doesn't match the brawny athleticism of its closest competitor, the Continental GT, and is powerful and precise, nimble and responsive, even under heavy braking. After years of feeling patronized because of the DB11's oversized drive, neutral reverse buttons that looked more suitable for a tot than a tourer, drivers finally had a decent family interior. The whole thing has been redesigned, emphasizing clean lines, bridge of weir hides, and new infotainment options. Replacing the buttons is a small rectangular shifter in the center console, similar to the tic-tac box-size shifter in the new Porsche 911. Thick stitching on that shifter looked out of place in the otherwise refined environment. The rear seat is useless unless you're no larger than a French bulldog, but the 2 front ones offer ample space. My handbag, jacket, and umbrella fit in the trunk. A golf bag would be a stretch. And while the DB12's roar never quite let me forget the V8 engine as I drove toward Cap Ferret, it was a quiet inside. Pilot's Sport 5 wheels contain noise-canceling polyurethane foam inserts that reduce tire hum by 20%. And heading back to the Maybourne, I navigated through gorges cut deep by dark streams. DB12 has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integrated into the center touchscreen, a significant upgrade considering DB11 lacked any touchscreen at all. It's a fitting commentary. Aston Martin's new stylish tourer costs a lot, and it's got at least one unflattering angle. But who among us doesn't? The DB12 is fun and fast, objectively better than its predecessor, and a sexy car that's easy to love. No nose lift necessary.